Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to the Russian meetup. I really am pleased to be here and on a day where we actually have released the software. So today is actually release day for our Qlik Data Analytics and Qlik Data Integration release for June 2020. If you guys have seen some of my work, either through videos or presentations or in person, you know I'm not a big PowerPoint presentation guy. I definitely like to show you the product in action. And today we discussed that we would cover what's new in the data analytics release, specifically in the QlikSense product releases for June 2020. So I'm going to demonstrate some of those highlights and capabilities today. But before we continue, I do want to provide you with a little bit of information of where you can learn more. And everything that I talk about has already been presented and recorded in a format that is available on YouTube or in the blog on the Qlik community. So I will provide the link to our hosts so they can distribute them later on in the day. So you could always review this at your leisure. So in the community at community.qlik.com, within our innovation blog, you will notice that we do have our references to a lot of the new capabilities and features that are released today in June 2020. That is available for you to view. Those blogs include a video that has been embedded, or it is directly accessible through a YouTube channel if you have access to YouTube, etc. If your organization does not, I could always make the MP4 available for download. You would just let me know if that is something you would need. I'll make it available. A couple other things to make mention within the Qlik community, other places where you can learn more. If you are not a registered member of the Qlik community, I highly recommend that you do register so you can work with people such as myself and my colleagues. At any given time, you can see if I navigate over to community.qlik.com, which is the main address, you can see we have 105,000 registered members, 2,251 are currently online. So there's a good chance that any of your issues, questions, problems can be answered, or if you just want to collaborate and share solutions and look for tips and tricks, etc., you can browse the many resources. So please register if you're not registered and work with the people in the community, and you can join the discussion with myself and others at almost any moment. One other thing to keep in mind is that we are going to have our Insider webinar series, which is going to be available in August, that is going to discuss the latest releases. I will provide links so you can sign up to that as well. And there is a new series that I have already kicked off earlier this month, June 4th, and we will continue with the series on June 18th. This is called Do More with Qlik for Beginners and Beyond. Basically, we explore the many different facets of Qlik data analytics and data integration, and we provide demonstrations and presentations on new features and capabilities that possibly you did not know existed in the product, or maybe you need a refresher, or maybe you want to learn how to do something. June 18th, we're going to be introducing our new development interface called Qlik CLI, which is a command line interface for developers and administrators of Qlik environments. So that's something you might want to sign up for, and I will make sure you have those links at the end of the meeting so you can choose if you want to sign up for those. Okay, some great resources to self-help and become familiar with Qlik and the many capabilities, features, and webinars and things that are going on. So I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, so in regards to the Qlik product release, as I had mentioned earlier, we have a number of different capabilities, and I'm just going to start out with a few of them. My favorite capabilities are usually the visualization enhancements that have been added, but there are also some other capabilities you need to be aware of. And one of those is integration for authentication with QlikSense Desktop, which, as you guys might know, is not a free product at this time, but it is a product that is available for those who have enterprise and cloud-based or software as a service-based licenses. So we've added some authentication methods within the June 2020 release to work with our software as a service offering. So the first thing I'm going to basically demonstrate is how to authenticate QlikSense Desktop with your software as a service offering, such as QlikSense Business, if you will. Okay, so here I started QlikSense Desktop. See if I can get this bar out of the way. There we go. Okay, so here I started QlikSense Desktop. And you can see when it starts, it's asking me to add an authentication link. but I need to get an authentication link before I can do that. So if you are familiar with ClickSense Business, which is our software as a service offering, for example, I have another server here called domore.us.clickcloud.com. You can easily register for a 30-day trial and have access to the many capabilities and features at the moment they are released directly into this hosted solution provided by Qlik. Once you're logged in, we would go to our settings menu, and you can see that there's a ClickSense desktop section. Authenticate your ClickSense desktop. You click on Authenticate, and it's going to open up the installed version of ClickSense Desktop, which is installed on your local machine. And when it does that, you'll see it automatically fills in the authentication URL. And here we click that URL, and this will log you in with the credentials that you've registered with. In this case here, I'm just going to log in with my credentials. I have so many different credentials. It's ridiculous. I have to keep track of all these sometimes because I have so many different test accounts. I think this is my credential for this one. And this will now authenticate me, and now I could use ClickSense Desktop locally on my machine as if I would use it earlier before. Okay, so that new particular feature is the ability to authenticate ClickSense Desktop local installation with a software as a service or our cloud-based deployments of ClickSense. Okay. Now, another thing that we've added to ClickSense cloud-based editions, or software as a service editions, we've had requests to have PDF output from our data stories. So in this instance here, what I'm just going to do is move quickly to my Explore menu, and I'm going to open up a ClickSense app. And then once again, for those of you who are not familiar, I noticed that there's a number of people on this call, but I'm not sure if you've upgraded or if you're still using ClickSense Windows for Enterprise, or you have a hybrid approach where you're using both SaaS or cloud-based. Understand that ClickSense is the same across the board. New capabilities and features will go into our cloud-based offerings and software as a service offerings first, and then they will come down into the Windows environment. All pending approvals and other operations and processes that I really don't have any insight into. But for example, a capability to export a story in this case was not, as a PDF, was not available in the cloud-based editions until now. So here I just have a story, and this story is actually a presentation that I use to kick off my series. You can notice through our context menu, we can download the story as PDF. And it'll take a few moments to process this, and then my Adobe Acrobat PDF viewer will open up, and all of the content that is available within this story will now be available as a PDF document. Therefore, allowing you to share the content very easily through email or publishing it up on a website, et cetera, without having to have full access to the actual story. Okay. So export to PDF from data stories within the cloud-based edition. Now, keep in mind, I'm open for any questions, so I will be taking questions at the end of the demonstration. We're not limited to what's new within June 2020, so if you have other questions about other features and capabilities, I can do that as well. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is some visualization enhancements that have been added within the April release. Okay, now, I'm sorry, in the June release. Now, one of these features that I'm going to demonstrate to you is going to be available at the end of June. It's not available just yet because they're finalizing some additional capabilities and some support issues and fixes. I have access to it on a development server. Is called cart monitoring. Okay, and you'll notice as I'm in my hub, the hub is the centralized location for me to browse and organize and secure content. And that content could be ClickSense app. It could be hyperlinked out to other resources. It could also now be KPIs, or key performance indicators, basically keeping track of my metrics directly on the hub page, front and center, from any app. So I can see changes and take action on those changes simply by clicking on these particular charts as you see here. Now notice I have a mix of and charts, or if I just want to see my monitored charts, I switch over to the chart tab. If I just want to look at my apps, I switch over to the app tab. If I want to look over at any external links, we go to the links tab. Okay. So in this case here, if I want to see this particular chart, I can view more information about this chart. I can see when it was last reloaded. I can see when it was created, if there are any tags associated with this. I can see the source of where it's coming from, where it resides, and if there's any selections applied. If I wanted a deeper dive, I can now go into the app and view that chart in its context with the other surrounding metrics and selections applied. Okay, so now let me show you how I got that chart available into the hub. So as you're navigating your apps and you're clicking your sheet and you start to perform your analytics, you might be, honing in on a particular selection. So in this case here, let's select some of these store locations in Africa, confirm those selections, and then maybe I want to keep track of this particular profit by company metric. So I right-click on the chart, and you can see there's an option in the submenu, Monitor in Hub. I select that. I can give it a new name. In this case here, I'm just going to type Monitor so I can show that it's separate from the one that we're looking at. And this is going to be related to my sales activity. And I'm going to click Monitor. Okay, I could also do that for this scatter plot here. Distribution chart. We're going to monitor that in the hub and click Monitor as well. And you can see we have a helpful message here. It'll let us go directly to the hub, or I can click an Open Hub here. And these will now refresh. And now you can see these particular charts are in my recent contact area of my home. Or if I explore, I can go to my chart section, and now these charts are available. Okay, so this is a great way to keep track of any particular analytics or KPIs and bring them front and center on your homepage that you can then take action on. And we call that chart monitoring. And this will be available at the end of June, and it's only available in the ClickSense cloud-based versions. Understand that we do have two different versions or editions of ClickSense when it comes to the deployments. And those deployments are ClickSense Enterprise on Windows, and then ClickSense Enterprise in the cloud or cloud-based deployments, software as a service hosted by us or hosted on a private or public cloud of your choice where you install the software. The hubs are different for the two different softwares, either Windows or ClickSense cloud-based editions. Okay, so please understand this capability is only available in the cloud-based editions. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to talk about a couple of the visualization enhancements. And let's go to our apps here. And to do this, I'm going to bring up my June 2020 app. And this app is available for download. So any of you can look at this app and download it at demos.qlik.com. And you can see what's new, June 2020, and you can click on this app. You can download the demo. You can launch the demo directly from our website. Okay, so let's go into our June 2020 app. And something I was really excited about to see added is the addition of mini charts within our straight table cells, okay, also referred to as spark lines. Okay, and then you could basically refer to these also as different formats in the form of lines, bars, dots, positive and negative, whiskers, etc. And you can see here we have a number of different measures and conforming dimensions. Usually the dimensions that are used within a spark line or in a mini chart are those that are time related, okay, like a date. Okay, and just to show you how we can create that, I'm just going to go to a new sheet. And it's simply just add a table. And we can just add a measure. In this case here, I'm just going to look for my sales figure. Okay, you can see we have sum of sales here. Now I'm going to take my category name. I'm going to adjust the positioning of category name. I'm going to change the formatting to money. And at this point here, all I need to do is duplicate this particular measure. Now, it could be any measure, but we have a new feature that was added in a previous release where you can easily duplicate measures by right-clicking on the measure in the property panel, select duplicate, and then you can see there's a representation. So in this case here, I'm just going to call this one mini chart so you can see the difference across the title. And as we scroll down, you're going to see representation. So we added recently in the April release the ability to put indicators. Okay, and you could add different limits and different color styles for the different indicators. But we also now have what's called mini chart. And when you go into mini chart, it's then asking you for the dimension. Now, the dimension is usually going to be time-based. So we're just going to select, let's say, year, month. And then you can change the representation, bars, dots, spark line. In this case here, where's my, oh, that was higher date. Let's not do that one. It's got to be an auto calendar year. I didn't want, order date is what I wanted. Okay, and there is the order date for those categories. Now we can be done editing. And now you have your spark line. Okay, so spark lines, mini charts, new feature within the straight table, June 2020. Okay, another new feature we've added is the ability, it's a very simple feature, styling and highlighting some rows that are available within the straight table. So in this case here, I'm just going to go back to my straight table, and you'll notice that if I go into my appearance, presentation, styling, we have the ability to now highlight rows on hover, and we can choose a cover. Maybe I want to highlight the row in red, and I want the font to be white. And this is available in straight tables and pivot tables. Makes it a little bit easier to, view the data when you're performing your analysis. Let's grab something that's a little bit larger for our scrolling capability. So let's do order date. And we're going to add order date in here. And now notice that we have this little scroll bar. Sometimes that little scroll bar could be kind of annoying. So you can go into our appearance, styling, and now we can make the scroll bar medium or large. So that way it makes it a little bit easier to grab depending on the interface you're using. Specifically, probably good for mobile devices. Okay, so scroll bar size and highlighting a row within tables and pivot tables. Okay. Another new visualization feature we've added is improvements to our visualization bundle org chart. So for those of you who are not familiar, we are not limited to just these visualizations and components that are available in our native chart library. Under custom objects, we also have additional bundles. And we introduced this, I believe, September last year, 2019 or earlier, where we now accept certified extensions and our partner network of people that go through our certified extension program. And we've added other types of visualizations in here. And then over time, we take these visualizations and we add newer features and capabilities to them. And sometimes they go into our native library. Sometimes they're enhanced and stay within these visualization bundles. So the last release, we added an org chart, which was allowing us to keep track of particular hierarchies, parent-child relationships within the data. But in this case, now we've added the ability to perform what's called fully expanded mode or auto expand mode, as well as colors and styling to these particular cells. So from here, you'll notice that it performs auto zoom depending on the size and the expansion. I can move it around. Let's say I have already exposed a number of different cells and nodes, and I want to bring it back to home. We've added this little home button, and we can now zoom in and zoom out. And all of these also have selection capability, just like any other field value that you would select in QlikSense. Okay, so styling capabilities, home button, zooming, auto expanded mode, available into the June 2020 release. Okay, another thing we've improved upon is the ability to add more information into tooltips. So tooltips allow you to condense the number of different measures and metrics and even add additional measures and metrics to that particular dimension that are then displayed within the chart. So something as simply as hovering over a chart can now contain more information than just the measure for that dimension. So here I'm looking at cost. I'm also looking at with set expressions. If you're familiar with set expressions, where you restrict a measure down to a particular set of values. So dynamic titling, dynamic descriptions, expressions are all supported in tooltips, including multiple dimensions. Here you can see it says a longer description can go here, category name, cost, etc. And now we also support these custom tooltips within line charts. Okay, so I'm going to pause right here just to talk to my hosts. Eugene, just to make sure we're good on time, everything we're tracking.
Yep, we've got some minutes more.
Okay, good. Do you know about how many more? Because I want to leave some time for Q&A. I don't want to step.
That would be nice if you finish in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, very good.
We've got actually one question.
Okay.
Just right now.
Very good. Okay, we've added a couple of capabilities, very simple capabilities within our filter pane. You'll notice that the filter pane here, we could actually now align the selections, left, center, and right. Simple expression, but allows you to style your selections and your filters a little bit more. That is something that has been added. And then we also have the ability to add additional number formatting capabilities within the formatting of the legend. So some improvements on how graphical information is displayed within the legend. Okay, we've also added a new action to our button. Another thing, again, if you haven't been keeping track, we have now these components that allow you to perform selection and add actions to these buttons. This was added in a previous release. Well, under these particular areas here, you can see presentation mode, expanded mode, single color, font color, top bar, border. So styling the button. Actions and navigation. And you can see apply bookmark, move backwards, move forwards, clear selections, select all values, allowing you to basically add interaction components and creating a more visual rich dashboard experience for your users by adding these button components and providing actions. So they can create their own navigation when they're exploring their data, or you can have it apply selections or bookmarks or lock specific or toggle field selections, etc. Okay, one other quick improvement, our bullet chart, which was added as a visualization bundle, is now part of our native chart. They basically added more styling capabilities and also language support, accessibility options, and additional controls within the properties. Okay, and finally, I would like to bring up the new development portal qlik.dev. If you go to qlik.dev, if you are a administrator or developer and you work with the back-end processing of administering a QlikSense environment, this is available for our software as a service and cloud-based deployments. Basically allows you to work with back-end command line interfaces to process many different capabilities, such as reloading apps or creating apps or looking at metadata or tracking. This is a great way to provide integration capability into your back-end processes. Okay, so this is called Qlik CLI. And the new developer portal is basically a instructional resource that will help you work with various frameworks that are available for integration of QlikSense into other tools and other software capabilities and packages that you might want to integrate QlikSense with. Okay, and this is available at qlik.dev. Okay, so that's all I have for the June release. There's a lot more I can go into, but basically when it comes to the actual release in June 2020, that's what's new. There are some honorable mentions, things I have not mentioned, for example, that they could be found in our release notes. We have other capabilities for dynamic views, console improvements in the Click Management Console, some improvements in Click Insight Bot, as well as Click and Printing. Okay, guys, over to you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. As for now, we have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
I would really appreciate it if you find a way to answer them short.
Okay, I will try.
Yeah. First one is, hi Mike, does QAP support dynamic views? When is Qlik going to publish API for that?
That's a good question. That one, please send that question to me directly. I'll have to ask our devs. At the moment, QAP does not support dynamic views that I'm aware of, and I'm not sure if that is going to be added. And as far as APIs for that, I actually have a call with my integration product manager. I can ask and get that question today. So if you send that question, I can get the answer to that question today.
Okay, Alex Polatorov will do. And the second one is Qlik working on features that provide us to publish charts, sheets to anonymous users, static chart or dynamic charts in cloud like Tableau or Power BI does.
If I had my webcam on, you'd see me smiling and nodding my head because I wish we did have something like that, but we don't. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure what the plan is as to making a public version of the cloud-based software available.
Okay.
I wish I could say yes. I wish I had a version myself.
Yeah.
We have one more question in the chat from Oleg.
From Oleg? I don't think I see it.
So the question is in the Zoom chat.
Oh. Could you please read that?
Yeah, sure. So Mike, the question was from Oleg Troyansky, our great guy who writes book about Qlik and a well-known person in the Qlik world. Is Qlik CLI only available for SaaS mode? And can it be used with the enterprise server?
That's a good question. At the moment, it is only available for the software as a service cloud-based deployments of Qlik. And it's only used for the enterprise server, enterprise version of that. Okay. If there's going to be a version for Windows, it remains to be seen. I do not know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's we've posted all the questions.
Okay.
We've got.
You know where to find me.
Thank you so much for attending.
No, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. You find me on the community or on Twitter or email or whatever, and I'll do my best to help.
Okay. If you would like, you may stay here and listen our Russian, but I don't think that would be.
I appreciate that. I actually got a call at 12 o'clock with the product manager for integration. So, but if you have that other question, you can send that question to me. I'll get that answer for you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you, Eugene. I appreciate it. Thank you, Alexei. I'll talk with you guys soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.